Hey, True Believers. Chris Mack coming at you yet again with another awesome weekend figure review. Today we are going over the Mattel DC Comics Multiverse Damian Wayne Robin. And this is part of the Collect and Connect King Shark series. And I just love this figure because this one was inspired from the Patrick Gleason, I believe was the artist of this time during the Robin Wars. And, you know, you get the little Court of Owls mask, and you just see how awesome this looks in the window there. And then you flip it around here to the side, and you get that same beautiful piece. I believe that is Patrick Gleason, because that was when him and Tomasi were working on Batman. If I'm wrong, let me know down in the comments, but I love the way it is there. And then it says Damian Wayne Robin. You flip around here to the back, and you see all the figures that you need for the collect for King Shark. So I'll make sure to pause it where you guys can get a closer up on that. Flip it around here to the side. Nothing much on this side except for the cool little DC logo there, and it says DC Multiverse. Flip it around back to the front. There's Damian again. You look at the top and you see how it says DC Comics Multiverse, and I like that kind of cool little spiral going on. Then you get the little DC Comics logo there. You flip it around here to the bottom. You see how much it paid for. You see all the legal stuff. But who cares? But what we do care about, True Believers, is this Damian Wayne figure awesome or not? So let's go ahead and get him out and let's take a closer look at him. And here's Robin out of the packaging, y'all. And I gotta say, there's a lot to love about this figure, and there are some things that it's just gonna drive you bat crazy. See what I did there? But overall, I think this is an amazing figure. We'll talk about the pros and cons here in a minute, but I just wanted to put him on the spinner and just show that overall, the paint apps look really nice. We'll get into those. And just the fact that we have a Damian Wayne action figure that's more comic accurate and less cartoony, that makes me excited. And I just love the way he looks here. Just that brooding, kid that he is from the comics and from the cartoon. Just an amazing figure. But with all that said, let's get him off the spinner and get a closer look at what's the love and what's going to drive you crazy with this particular action figure. Backstory on Damian before we get into anything about the figure is his first appearance is Batman, Son of the Demon. Now, I say this because this is him as an infant, seemingly from the Night of Passion from Batman and Talia in Batman 244, which is a book I'm looking for. So if y'all know where I can grab a copy of that, let me know, please. Now, his first appearance in the main Batman stories was Batman 655, which I think is what they based the movie off of, the animated movie, which was called, I think, Son of Batman. That's kind of where they got the idea for that book. Now, as Robin, where he actually dons this look, is Batman 657. And then what's really cool is after Infinite Crisis by Jeff Jones, Batman disappears. Everyone thinks he's dead. So Dick Grayson takes up the mantle of Batman, and Grant Morrison kicks off this comic series called Batman and Robin. And to me, that was such an amazing arc. It was a great way to see what would happen after Bruce Wayne, and these, him and Damian here and Dick really know how to step up to the plate and be the awesome new school dynamic duo. Now, what breaks my heart is as Morrison's run began to end, he kills Damian in Batman Incorporated #8, and that irritated a lot of us, Damian Wayne fans. It was like, come on, really? But there is hope, because when Peter J. Tomasi took over Batman and Robin, he brings him back from the dead during Batman and Robin #37 during the Robin Horizons arc. Now, if you want some more backstory on that, pick up the books, and you can also read more or hear more about it. More about it during my Hellbat review, so make sure to check out that review. Then, after all that, Batman seemingly dies in Scott Snyder's Batman run. So Robin goes out on his own to atone for everything that he did with the League of Assassins. And Patrick Gleason is responsible for that book. It's called Robin, Son of Batman. Now, I don't know how the numbers work, so I don't really keep up with that. But for me personally, that was a great run. It introduced some really cool characters and some really neat concepts. And of course, you just get Patrick Gleason's art, which is absolutely phenomenal. Now, during Rebirth, Peter J. Tomasi and Patrick Gleason created an absolutely phenomenal book called Super Sons. And what this is it's Damian and John Kent, which is Superman and Lois's son. They team up, and oh my goodness, guys, that was such a great read. If you haven't checked it out, please do so. I'm still to this day irritated like crazy that they canceled that comic book because it was selling so well, but I don't want to get into my theories of why they canceled it. So anyway, some awesome reading there, and with that, let's go ahead and get into Damian. And before we look at the paint apps, let's take a gander at his accessories. So let's push Damian, well, he's not going to stand, so we're just going to plop his butt down. He first comes with this really cool katana, and I like that it's all black, and you kind of get a focus, kind of the wrap. Now I wish they would have maybe done a brown wash or a silver wash to kind of differentiate it from everything else, but I appreciate that it's there so it looks more ninja. And then I like how the blade, even though it's black, you can see how it shimmers. I think that is a really cool idea. So this is a really neat katana. The other thing that he comes with is this little kabuki mask. Now, this, if you've not read, another comic book series that you all want to read is called The Court of Owls. It was created by Scott Snyder. And later down the road, after Batman is presumed dead, there's an arc called Robin Wars. And Robin is seemingly, recruited into the Court of Owls by Talon, which is another plot point. I think it was Son of Batman, the show, if you guys aren't much readers, where they kind of got that idea, and that's where he gets this kabuki mask from. And I like it because it kind of covers that really bad face sculpt. And you can see here there's a little hole, so it fits right into his nose, so it attaches, so just bloop, and you're good to go. And of course my focus wants to fail me. So yeah, that looks nice on him. And then the other things that he comes with, and these things are frustrating, are those knee pads. So here's the knee pads. I like that they're green. But the downfall is they just click into place, which looks neat. But when you really start to tinker and whatnot, they fall off. So I kind of wish that they would have done something a little bit better with those. So yeah, that's kind of frustrating. But those are the accessories that Robin comes with. His mask, you have to kind of get your thumb up under the chin. It doesn't always work, so we'll have to try here. Of course, because I'm doing this on camera, that his mask does not want to come off. So you have to kind of pry it up underneath like that, and bloop, there's that bad face sculpt. Speaking of the face sculpt, the reason I say it's bad, like it's not horrible, but that doesn't look like Damian. This just looks like a really frustrated, I don't know, mid-aged adult. I wish they would have given us, instead of just having the hood, because this hood does not come off, I wish they would have given us another head. That way we could have got a non-hooded Damian version, kind of like the Marvel Legends Spider-Gwen one, where you got the head. They came with the Gwen Stacy head, and then it came with the spider head. And what was cool about that is you can put the hood on the spider head and then plop it on. Then they had like a folded back hood that you could put across the chest, and you pop the Gwen Stacy head on. So I kind of wish that they would have came up with something like that for Robin. But nonetheless, I like how the ripples in the hood look. I think that's really, really nice. And even though this feels a little the splotchy, the yellowness, I like that that's around there to at least kind of differentiate the black. Oh, that face. I wish they would have done something else. Anyway, and then again here across the chest, you see the yellow that runs around, which looks okay for the most part. You can see how it gets a little splotchy on the chest. Get a focus here because it's giving me a hard time. And of course, we love the R. That looks good. I like these little yellow things across the ribs here. That looks good. Belt looks great. Like the little pockets here on the side. That looks awesome. And then what I've always appreciated, and I'm glad that they added to this figure with the ripples, is his Robin suit looks more like a karate gi than a regular like Tim Drake uniform. So I like that. I love the kind of the gloves here. Got the little bat thingies there. Just looks more militaristic than just regular gloves. Black looks good, and I always enjoyed his laced boots. I always thought those were kind of neat. I like that they made sure to add the red, the green, and then the gray underneath. I think that's a nice little touch there. And I like how here on the back, again, a little splotchy, but I can appreciate that they at least wanted to try something different and kind of gave the cape that nice little yellowness. It really shimmers in the light. So nice, like the little flaps, the bat flaps here. And it's leather, so it's pliable, so you can at least mess with it a little bit. And I like that they added the legal stuff underneath the cape and not really on the figure. It's kind of out of the way and not going to bug you. So yeah, overall, I think the paint apps and the accessories, minus the knee pads, are awesome additions to this figure. The articulation here is hit or miss with this figure. So like we've done with other figures, how you can usually look down and look up. There's no real head tilt whatsoever. So it's not on a rocker. And again, nothing there. As you can kind of hear that resistance. So if you really work at it and you're careful, you can at least get them to look side to side. But I wish we could have gotten up and down. That would have helped. And you got to be careful too, because the head gets a little loose. So that's just nature beasts of articulation. Arm goes out that much, and of course this high. And you can't really go 360 because the cape here hinders it. So that's frustrating. I wish they would have been able to take the cape off. So that kind of impedes that. He does have the upper bicep swivel, so got that going on. And because this is an older figure, single jointed elbows. Single jointed elbows. Oh, come on. So you have to work around single jointed elbows. And then of course the wrists can swivel 360, but he does not go up and down. So you're kind of impeded on that. The ab down about that much. And not too far back, so you can at least get some good like flying kick poses there. He does twist at the waist, so that's good. Legs, about that far. Now, one thing before we go further is you want to be careful. A lot with these DC figures, I don't know why, but the legs always get loose. So be careful about that, guys. Kick out about that far. He's impeded by that, so that's kind of a factory flaw. Legs don't really go back that far. And single jointed knees. Upper thigh cut at least, so there's that going on for it. So woohoo. And then his feet can go up that much down. And because this is an older figure, no ankle pivots. So that sucks. And no boot cut either, so you can't get a little more fancy. So, you have to appreciate the figure for what it is at the time. A lot of these new Marvel Legends and Multiverse figures have learned from their mistakes. And because this is an older figure, you just have to work around it. And, figure you have enough action figures, you've kind of figured out how to work around them. So it is what it is. It's not too bad. You can at least get some decent poses. So overall, I can't complain. I'm just happy to have Damian in my collection. Here's Damian next to his former Robins, and of course his father, and then of course the all-time tormentor of the Bat family. This is the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Joker. This is the DC Essentials Red Hood, DC Essentials Nightfall Batman, and the DC Essentials Nightwing. And as you can see, Robin is smaller, somewhere around 5 inches or so, and that's because in the comics he's supposed to be, what, 12, 13 or something like that. And of course all of them are, the majority Bat family here, late 20s, 30s, 40s, and then God knows how old Joker is. But the scaling works. And as you can see, you get them in some action poses, and this is gonna look awesome and comic book accurate. So I'm glad that I got all these figures. It just kills me that DC Essentials is closing down, because I was really hoping that we were gonna get a DC Essentials Robin. Because up till this one, the other ones that I've seen, I was just not impressed. And this Joker blew me away. So I'm hoping with what I've seen with this figure and the Hellbat, I'm hoping that McFarlane will give us a really cool Robin, because he's doing the Groblin right now for the Batman Who Laughs, and that looks promising. So, maybe it's a sign of things to come. Nonetheless, these are figures that you want in your collection, guys. All of these, to me personally, are something special. They look like they jumped off the pages, and I've been a long time Batman reader, so just having these in my collection just makes me so excited. So I'd love to hear what you guys think of these what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was like, that's not 4. 5 figures down in the comments below. Overall, guys, I really do enjoy this Damian Wayne. This is one you really want in your collection. Like I said, they have that Super Sun 2-pack, but no way am I going to spend that price for that figure. This one is getting a little bit harder to find. I'm glad that I found them the way that I did. The paint apps, as you can see, are really, there are some splotches and you're kind of, but overall, this looks like Damian. And for that, I could appreciate. The one thing I wish they would have thought of when they did this, and like it shows on the box, I wish they would have given you a swap out head, because that face paint on the hood one, I don't know, it just does not really match the Damian Wayne that we all know. So that would have been nice if you can get interchangeable heads. And, the single jointed elbows and all that stuff, just, oh man, super fail on that. But nonetheless, if you want a cool Damian to put up next to your Robin, your Batman, your Red Hood, and your Nightwing, definitely the way to go until we can get a new release. And hopefully we'll get one with the McFarlane Multiverse. But for the time being, definitely a figure you want to get. And if you've enjoyed this figure, please, first and foremost, as I always say, check with your local comic shop and see if they can get this figure ordered for you. If not, again, this is one of those ones, since Mattel has discontinued their Multiverse license. This is getting, as I just said, it's getting a little bit harder to find, so you're going to have to go through the secondary market like I did, because I looked all over town, could not find this figure. And if you guys have enjoyed this review, we really, really would appreciate if you take a minute to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little Robin bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys can come to the channel, and we love to have a dialogue and hear your feedback down in the comments below or on our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description below. So with all that said, stay tuned for the photo slideshow here at the end of the review. And with that said, I hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.